So the question is, are people actually getting dumber, or is the internet just exposing everyone? Now, I know that everything is just so accessible now because of the internet. So now we see this more than what we would have, let's say, 20 or 30 years ago. But is that the reason, or are just people not learning enough? So it's easier to do a Google search, it's easier to use GPS, and not have the information actually sink into your mind. Now, internet is beautiful to have because you could search and you can find new articles and really broaden your knowledge so much easier than when it was just books back in the day. But are people actually having that information sunk in? So I don't know. Are people actually just getting dumber because they're getting lazier?
So I think along the conversations of social media, we are seeing a lot of these people who make questionable decisions, say questionable things are of the dumb nature. But I actually think that it's more along the lines of the internet itself is cultivating generations of people who are too dependent on the internet. And humanity throughout the years is always going to choose the option that alleviates any sort of inconvenience or hindrance and instead prioritizes speed and efficiency, even at the detriment of our own self development. So I think that what the internet has done is generation after generation, it's created people that are more interested with getting to the answers fast rather than understanding truly why this is the answer, right? It's like, I don't care about how 1 + 1 = 2. I just need to know that the answer to 1 + 1 is in fact 2. So what that does is it gives you the answer, but it doesn't give you an understanding of how you get to that answer. And so because of that, you wouldn't be able to apply it to anything else. It's kind of like fast food, right? It's just like fast food, shorts, reels. It's fast, quick entertainment or fulfillment or information that doesn't really stick with you. And, there might be a lot of people that pay attention and actually develop from the information that they take in from the internet. But to the majority of people, that's not what they're looking for. Let's be honest. We're at the point now where society, majority of the people at least, from what we see online, they don't really care. They just want to get to the conclusion as quickly as possible. And it's really sad to see. It's sad to see that people prioritize just getting quick fixes rather than developing their ability to think proactively and problem solve and have cognitive thinking in order to solve problems and go about their lives, learning more, gaining more knowledge, and gaining more wisdom. Mm, they just want to pump out things like it's fast food. I think that is the downside of the internet. And don't get me wrong, I think the internet is a brilliant thing. It's revolutionized so many industries. It's become the backbone of human society. Everything, well, mostly everything functions off of the internet in society nowadays. And I think as it grows, as people run further and further risks into becoming completely dependent on it. Even now, at this point, I see so many businesses and so many corporations, people, just for simple messaging on, I don't know, LinkedIn or social media, they use AI. Companies use AI to translate things. They use AI to write compelling messages, or they use AI to write a response because they don't want to think anymore. They want to take the time to think of a response because they're prioritizing, again, the easy, efficient way to do things, even if it's at the detriment of their own development. The more that we rely on AI, for example, the more that people are just going to be unable to properly communicate through messaging, for example. The amount of times I see people posting and responding to my messages with AI is it's astonishing. I can never unsee the clear giveaways of AI in dialogue for games, for example, in the subtitles for games. Even some stories are now being written completely with AI, and we're consuming all of it. and a lot of people consume it happily. We gotten to a point now where a lot of people want to consume content where they don't have to think. I can't imagine us actually being in a society where we actually want to numb our brains. That sounds so morbid. It sounds horrible. But people have been conditioned, and maybe it's the outside world, maybe it's us internally, but we've conditioned ourselves to think that that is a sense of relaxation, just just morbidly existing while we consume mindless content. So I genuinely believe that while the internet is exposing, or not exposing, it's showcasing people and their levels of intelligence. It's also the cause of that deteriorating intelligence because people rely on it too much. Even university students nowadays, they're just using AI to try and do their work for them. I'm scared to think about a world where we go into a society where a doctor has their PhD in medicine, but they used AI to get there. And so they're not reliable in healthcare at all because they don't know. They don't know how they got there. They just went along with it and used AI to get past so many things. That I know that's probably not how it works, but with the rate of AI's development, it's not hard to imagine that it could.
I can also make you a PhD doctor in about 30 seconds if you'd like. No, but all seriousness, back to the chatting point that you mentioned. I actually just came across one now where a recruiter reached out to someone and then that person responded back with AI, but then left a prompt in at the top. So you are using AI to reply to just a random, okay, well, it was an outreach message from a recruiter, but nothing important. And you choosing to reply with AI. Imagine we get to a point, humans get to a point where you can't say hello to someone because you rely on AI to judge the person's tone in the text, and then you reply back with AI's response. We getting to that point. That is so bad. I cannot believe it. It's our brains are going numb. We're getting lazy. I mean, back in the day it was lazy, but now this is just something else. It's scary.
I think it's also at the point now where it's not even just laziness that people use these things, it's also out of competitiveness. If you don't use AI in your company, you are actively going to be left behind when every other business, especially your competitors, develop. And a lot of times people are using AI because they want to feel like they're saying the correct thing. People don't want to make mistakes. People don't want to say the wrong thing. So they're trying to get AI to tell them what to say. And I mean, in a world where you want to fight about your freedom of speech and expression, you, for a world that's been fighting that fight for so long, you sure are willingly giving it away to robots, which is quite ironic, really. But yeah, you've got mesh of people who are lazy, unmotivated, and you also have this other group that's overly competitive and trying to keep up with the times as they change. And it's really it's such a disheartening thing to see that in the quest for this efficiency, in the quest for out of this laziness and competitiveness, we are losing the actual ability to connect, which is so apropos because people talk about connecting on socials so much, yet they can't even take the time to just type from the heart. Because the moment they type from the heart, they're conscious about all the mistakes that they're making. It's such a shame.
And then you get on the other side where the internet actually rewards stupidity and doing dumb things. Now that's promoting people for this. People are hate watching these type of things. People are making fun. People are commenting. They are reaching out to these creators because of the stuff that they are doing. So, which is stupid stuff, dumb stuff. So why must I create a change when this is bringing in money?
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on how the internet has enabled people to act like absolute morons on the internet and farm engagement from people. It's so it's so frustrating that you can actually so easily make so much money. Actually, I heard um, the woman. I don't know if you remember. I think we spoke about it. This was years ago. There was a woman on social media that was selling jarred farts to people, and she ended up, getting rushed to the hospital because she was consuming too much flatulent, intensive foods to get all these farts out, and she made like $250,000. She's now a millionaire because she's moved, she's upgraded. I believe that she's selling chewed food now on her social medias. And people are buying it, and she's now a millionaire. The world is in a very strange place.
There are many ways to become a millionaire. And that is one of the weirdest ones I've ever heard.
So I think the most accurate thing I can say is that the internet is a double-edged sword. It's provided the ability for technological advances far beyond what our forefathers could even have predicted. But at the same time, it's also caused somewhat irreparable damage to our society because of how much it has enabled people, whether it be laziness, weirdness, stupidity, desperation, loneliness, isolation, any sort of negative trait or feeling. The amount of people that's been enabled by the internet. It's to the point where people, how many ads? Oh my god, this pisses me off so much on YouTube. How many ads I get every single day about AI girlfriends? It is ridiculous.
So as long as the internet keeps pushing people doing stupid stuff, that will keep happening. And as long as everyone's just looking for a quick fix for their information, then people are just going to lose the brain capacity in years to come. And I don't know what to help you about that AI girlfriend thing. That's extremely weird.
Short answer is we're cooked.